How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
Yeah,
So you're talking to us from Canyon City right now?
I am.
Yeah, the
Yes.
center of the known universe.
Well, sure.
Yeah, why not? It is the most moderate climate, as I recall, in all of Colorado.
Yes, it is.
But you'll be abandoning pretty soon here. You guys are moving
Yep.
to Missouri, right?
Kansas City, actually, Olathe, somewhere around that area.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, big loss for Colorado, big gain for Olathe area.
Bittersweet.
Well, we ran into each other at a wedding of a friend, and ended up sitting next to each other. And as I mentioned earlier, I was praying about who do I ask to do the podcast for this subject for spiritual gifts. And when I saw you and Alan, I'm like, oh, Ria's there, crazy Ria, Holy Spirit girl Ria. And so I got excited, and then we had a pretty interesting conversation. So I thought this is perfect. So you're being willing to share some pretty honest thoughts and frustrations on this subject. Thank you for
For
being able
sure.
to do that. Yeah. All right.
I don't, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have to retract that thank you later on.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just start with the two questions that I'm going to ask the strangers on the street.
Okay.
This might seem like it has nothing to do with spiritual gifts, so just bear with me. But the first question is superheroes. Do you think they're real? DC,
Yes.
Marvel, that kind of
I
thing.
mean, like those kind of superheroes are
Well,
just,
it's your answer. You can answer however you want.
I think there are superheroes, yes.
Okay, and go on.
Well, I think that just there's certain situations where people get, oh, my kid's trapped in a car and you lift the car magically or not magically, but,
Right.
so I think that in certain situations there are superheroes in
Okay.
normal everyday people.
Yeah. Well, they talk about like an adrenaline rush or somehow
Yeah.
the mom
Yeah.
gets pregnant.
Somehow it does.
Do
Yeah.
you think it's a simple biological thing, like an adrenaline rush, or do you think there's some kind of divine intervention or partnership happening, or is it hard to define?
I think both.
Okay.
hmm I think both. I think it could be both.
Yeah.
Um, obviously depending where you fall on the spectrum of what you believe,
All
but
right.
obviously I believe more spiritual than
Right.
the other. But
Do you think if someone's like not a card carrying Christian,
hmm
like they're something else, atheist, or maybe they're from another country and they follow a different religion, do you think they could have that same quote superpower? Like, would God enable them through a combination of their biology and supernatural power? Would God enable them to pick the car up off of their, or maybe if it's in a third world country, pick the cart, the donkey cart off of their?
yeah, for sure.
So God doesn't limit His blessings just to
I
the
don't think so. No.
yeah.
No.
Cool. Okay.
No.
Good. Second question.
hmm
Um, what's your superpower?
I don't have a superpower.
We're waiting for the car to fall on one of your kids or grandkids or something.
I don't know that I would say I have a superpower.
Okay.
Other people might say I have a superpower, but I personally don't say that I have a
Okay.
superpower.
Yeah. So obviously you have one, but you're just going to be humble about it or self deprecate. What would other people say your superpower is?
um, well, I know things like I can sense if there's something going on in somebody or uh my kids would say, well, they never got away with anything because I always knew what they were doing. So maybe that, I
Okay.
don't know. hmm
I wonder if that's like a universal mom superpower, or if it's maybe people who are more connected to spiritual things.
I think for me personally, it was the Holy Spirit, right? I
Hmm.
think that he allowed me to know things and intervene in my children's lives so they wouldn't go down a super bad place.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Donna has had that same experience. with our kids, and
Hmm.
it's funny because they seem to, on the one hand, acknowledge that God is involved, but they also sort of hate the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
The Holy Spirit is
Most
ruining my self-destructive.
ruining my fun.
Yeah, I want to destroy myself, and the Holy Spirit's
Hmm.
not helping here. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Absolutely.
So on the subject of spiritual gifts, would you say that, because like I said at the beginning, I think of you as I've thought of you as someone who's really vibrant and active in interacting with the Holy Spirit. Would you say that that's constantly increased in your life, or has it waned? And if so, which one and why?
Um, I think where I'm at right now in my life, it's waned a little bit, actually quite a bit. But I think there's just been over the last 5 years, it's been I don't want to use the word deconstructing, but that's the only word that I can come up with right now. It's been a
Mhm.
deconstructing of everything that I thought I believed and I thought I knew.
Mhm.
Um,
I've gone through deconstructions, and for me, the question is always, where do you come out at the end? And uh,
mhm.
we're doing a class at our church. I may have told you about this, called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. It talks about the wall, or what Christians, mystics have called the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
This thing where what normally works stops working,